Hi. As a kite up here. I hope most of you all are too. I could use the laughter. Laughter is contagious, like herpes, so spread the love. I'm going to open up a little bit about myself, but first, a little bit about you. This is my fourth, maybe fifth time doing comedy here at the Boulderado, and I had kind of hoped by now I would have known a lot more of the audience, in the biblical sense. Yeah, most of you are laughing, some of you, in the biblical sense, it means to fuck. To know someone in the biblical sense means to have fucked them. Therefore, the joke is, I had hoped by now on my fourth show I would have fucked more of the audience. Just a classier way of saying it, but God forbid I try and raise the level of discourse in this room. I moved from Orlando to Boulder in 1999. It wasn't my idea. My girlfriend at the time had come visit her parents who had just moved to Colorado, and she wanted to move to Colorado, and I wanted to have sex. So a month later, we were on the road. Now, some things you need to know about me before we go too much further. I have smoked weed every now and then since I was 16 years old. Every now and every then. I have also snorted greater than my birth weight in cocaine over those same 40 years. I have done the math. I am also a blackout drunk. That's why I wear a condom when I masturbate. I got no fucking idea where I've been. So, my biggest concern upon relocating to a new town at the age of 32 was scoring drugs. So, my girlfriend goes online and looks up the marijuana laws. Colorado, 1999, possession of up to 1/4 pound of weed, up to $100 fine. Orlando, Florida, 1999, possession of over 3/4 of an ounce, felony. I decided it was time for a change. Still, when we pulled the moving truck up to the Days Inn in Boulder, I knew the weed that I'd swore to my girlfriend I wouldn't bring with us wouldn't last us long. 3 days later, I was the night manager at Fatty J's Pizza, a marijuana-themed pizza joint on the hill, some of you remember. And 2 weeks after that, I was growing my own weed. So remember, kids, don't worry, the really important stuff works out. I used to wonder, living in Florida in the 90s, I used to wonder, what would I do if I had all the free kind bud I could smoke? Turns out, not much. I mean, here we are, 24 years later. 24 years I have enjoyed the shit out of. I mean, I've been so busy laughing, it's hard to find time to write down the funny. But for you people here tonight, I took that time, and I did so. And I would like to say, I have been sober almost 2 weeks to prepare for this thing. Yeah, I'd like to say that. Those who know me know it ain't true. It's a bunch of bullshit. But still, I'd like to say it. It's fun. I've been sober 2 weeks. Look, I'm half in the bag right now. But that's okay. That's okay. I could probably do this thing in my sleep. That's why I popped a couple of Ambien before I came out here. It's not easy. I'm getting laughs, but it's not easy, I'm telling you. But it's probably easier for me than most. I don't write jokes, as you're probably starting to notice. I see jokes all around. And I'm like the Michelangelo of comedy. But instead of seeing a block of marble and carving away everything that isn't an angel, I see a situation or a moment, and I carve away everything that isn't a bit. It's just what I do. My first reaction isn't fight or flight. It's funny. Man, all right, on to the second page. My jokes, and I swear, if there's time, you'll get to hear some. But my jokes are my reactions to the absurd shit I see around me. My stories are my reactions to the absurd shit that happens to me. In my godless philosophy, comedy seems to be the best natural remedy in defense against tragedy. Second best, really. Third best actually, but still, nevertheless, it's a good one. They don't sell those theater masks, comedy, tragedy, connected side by side to save money. It's a fucking metaphor. So, 5 minutes into this damn thing, and I bet you're about ready to laugh. I'm about ready to hear some. I'm going to give you one more quick story. Then I'm going to roll through some jokes. 20, 30, 40 of them. And remember, I think segues between jokes are time fillers for comedians who can't write enough jokes. I ain't got that problem. My life has been a joke since day one. And I'm 56 years old. That gives me 53, 54 years worth of carving out comedy to work with. I'll admit, my first few years are a little blurry. I was hitting the bottle pretty hard back then, even for me. As I said, I moved to Colorado in 1999. Then I moved to Lyons, Colorado in 2011. I was still living there September 11th, 2013. And as I was driving home from Boulder, it was raining. I was going north on 9th Street and had to turn off because a cop car pulled in front and blocked 9th Street ahead of me. I made it down to Broadway, started heading north on Broadway, just before 4 cop cars pulled behind me, blocking off Broadway behind me. I drove through that shit all the way to my house in Lyons on a hill in the center of a 47-acre property I was renting. I walked inside, turned on the TV to see what the fuck was going on. Every TV station was a special report. And every TV station said, the currently worst bands of rain are on Highway 36 between Boulder and Lyons. No shit, I just drove through it. I rolled up a huge fucking joint. I used the 1.5s, the bed sheets, grabbed a giant umbrella, grabbed a lawn chair, and went outside. I sat out there. As I went outside. Oh yeah, about 30 minutes later, again, I shouldn't have to remember this. This is all straight fact, the thing that happened. I sat there smoking that joint. About 30 minutes later, the flood sirens went off. We've all heard the trials, but this one said, flood, imminent, dam breach, imminent, seek higher ground immediately. Dam breach. It was crazy, crazy shit. I went back inside. Rolled another joint. By the time I came back outside, there was already 5 or 6 cars struggling up my driveway. And I can roll a joint pretty quick. So, I went over to the chair and lit that other hog leg. As I sat there smoking that, I thought to myself, maybe I should try and wander the 30, 40 yards, 300 or 400 yards across the field, across through this deluge to ask those people to come inside after I finished this joint. So, at some point, somehow, it started, you know what, that's what I was thinking about. But what I really wanted to be thinking about was how cool that moment was. It was so fucking surreal. Smoking a joint in that downpour, sirens going off, this weird fog everywhere. I remember thinking to myself in that moment that this would be what it would be like if Godzilla attacked. But as I was sitting there thinking that, it started raining even harder, put my fucking joint out. So I went back inside. Grabbed a hat, grabbed a raincoat, and went back outside. Not to try and get the people stranded in the street out there. I had 20, 30 prop plants between my back bedroom and the outside yard. I was not one for strangers at the house. I went back outside, sit in that lawn chair under that umbrella, eat weed cookies, and imagine Godzilla coming over the ridge. 2 days later, September 13th, on my 47th birthday, it rained again. And they evacuated the city. Kept it closed for months. Something about everybody had to leave because the sewage station had washed away and every toilet flush was going straight down the creek to Longmont. Yeah, I didn't see the problem either. But apparently, all the serious guards with all the guns thought it was a serious problem, so they had to evacuate. But I, however, was one of the few people who got to stay. That 47 acres on the ridge had its own well and septic tank, so I didn't have to leave. I was given a pass to leave Lyons once a day and come back once a day. The National Guard ended up using my 47-acre property as their staging ground. Helicopters, Apache helicopters, coming and going all day the first couple of days. And for the first couple of weeks, I got a daily visit from the National Guard. 2 National Guards, same thing every day. 2 National Guardsmen would walk up to the hill, walk up towards my house, announce themselves, and ask if I was Mr. Hatfield. I would say, yes, gentlemen, I am. And they would say, Mr. Hatfield, do you have any plans to leave today? And I would say, no, gentlemen, I do not. And they would say, well, Mr. Hatfield, are you aware that there is a mandatory evacuation in place for Lyons, Colorado? And I'd say, I am, gentlemen. And they would say, Mr. Hatfield, are you aware that we will not physically remove you from your property? I am aware, gentlemen. Then they would say, thank you, see you tomorrow, Mr. Hatfield. I'd say, thank you, gentlemen, see you tomorrow. And then every day, exact same thing, it became a running joke. And every day, right before they'd leave, they'd stick their head in the door and go, is anybody in there? Wait a moment, and then leave. I never thought about it before, but I guess a crisis or an emergency is a good time to try and hide up some other shady shit. But the first day, the first helicopter on that first day hovered about 10 feet over my house. I went outside and looked up. And we could easily communicate through eye contact and hand gestures over the incredibly loud noise. He's looking down, he wants to land his helicopter where I've got my car parked. Can I move my car? I go back inside and grab the keys. I come outside, and then he clearly communicates, power lines, too close, goes down and lands further down the property. That became the route for every helicopter. 12 helicopters, 20 helicopters a day would fly from the bottom of the ridge, up the valley, over top of my house, turn around, fly down and land. First, I was scared shitless. Almost scared enough to cut the plants down. But remember, this whole thing was happening while I was higher than a Georgia pine and had 18 6 to 12 foot pot plants in my backyard. And every fucking helicopter coming over, just beating up my plants with a prop wash. So at first I was scared, but by the day 3, I was just pissed off. I was on a ladder after having stapled a tarp against the fence. I was stretching that tarp over supports to the roof of the house. On a ladder as a helicopter comes up, starts making that turn, rips the staples off the fence. It goes flying down the hill. I'm jumping off the ladder, I'm chasing it down the hill, looking up going, what the fuck? That was the last helicopter to take that route. That's when I realized it wasn't the best route, it was the best view. These guys were flying in National Guardsmen and women from around the country, flying over my house, pointing down to my garden and going, hey, welcome to Colorado, first state to legalize weed. And then going down and landing. I do believe that that last pilot fly over my house, saw me chasing that and went, I think we're going to give that old man a heart attack. And that was the last one to go into my house. The owner of the property eventually sold the property. And I moved to Superior, Colorado, where I was living December 30th, 2021, when my house was one of the first of 1,084 homes destroyed in the Marshall Fire. Yeah, now, you might think that the God I don't believe in is a little bit pissed with me, but I don't. I'm just looking for good recipes for locusts. Now, I'm going to roll through some jokes here. I'm going to take a break and a drink. I got one more story after the jokes. Thanks. I don't know if it deserves all that, but thank you. You're very kind. And full of kind bud. And the last one I do is the hardest thing I do. But first I'm just going to roll through a bunch of jokes if I can find. Last time I did this will be 4th or 5th time. Last time was the first time one of my buddies goes, why don't you number the pages? What? Whoa, I've been fumbling for years. All right. As I said, I love you people. As I said, I'm 56 years old, writing comedy for 53, 54 years. And as you can see, I decided a long time ago to live my life the way I want to. Drunk. And at 56 years old, I can proudly say I have never once succumbed to peer pressure. I have always been the peer applying the pressure. My dad told me when I was young that there are really only 3 significant birthdays. 18, 21, 30, 36. 18, you can vote. 21, you can drink. 36, you can legally sleep with someone half your age. Now, I joked earlier about quitting cocaine to focus on this thing. But I've joked that before. But this time, I really did. My mom died January 1st, and I thought, maybe it's time I grew up and focused, and what I really want to do is comedy, and I wanted to do it right. So, man, look at that, I want to do it right. Here he says, oh yeah. And I thought, you know, not only do I want to do comedy right and focus on it, but death's coming for me pretty soon too. And I need to maybe start saving some money. Turns out, I just need to quit doing cocaine. I mean, I can honestly say, this is no bullshit, I can honestly say I have gone 31 days without cocaine. I am not shitting you. I am not shitting you. I am fucking begging you. Someone find me some goddamn cocaine. No, this is the 4th time I've done it. And last was the first time I did it without blacking out. And I think we're safe this time too. I've been drinking my dick off the last month. My tolerance is through the roof. One of my friends said, it's always 420 somewhere. Another buddy goes, no it's not. I said, yes it is. My house. I am one of the laziest men you'll ever meet. I mean, some good liquor and some good weed, and there's nothing I can't not do. That's why I'm always so impressed by how much I'm going to get done tomorrow. Also why I'm so glad that you are here. I have to have this. I have to have obligations. I need to have things I have to do, otherwise I just do drugs. Yeah, now I've got something else to focus on while I do those drugs. Look, don't get me wrong, I get a lot done on cocaine. Most of the cocaine. I used to come to work sometimes after a night of not being able to score cocaine, and I'd comment about how good I felt, well rested, not hungover. My buddy Ethan would go, well, what does that tell you, Hatfield? And I'd say, it means I need to find more fucking coke dealers. Look, I'm always joking. I am a Zen comedian. I'm like that tree that falls in the woods. If there's no one there to hear my jokes, I'm not sure I exist. That's why I'm so glad to tell jokes to a voluntary audience for once. Many people say they wish they had enough money not to have to worry about money. But most of those don't realize there's two sides to that equation. I don't give a shit about money. I really don't. But the people I owe money to, they don't seem to want to talk about nothing else. Shit. I feel bad when I charge for these shows. Tonight's free. But remember, I have to miss 2 shifts to do this thing. One to write it and one to perform it. And then usually a 3rd shift to spend all that back. I spend all that money you give me and have to call in the next day. I just want to make enough money entertaining people, not to have to live amongst them. I mean, many women say they love and prefer an outdoorsman, but few of them are trying to date the homeless. How come you always hear the word disgruntled? We all hear disgruntled. It's almost always about disgruntled employees. But you never hear the word gruntled. Gruntled's a word. It is the root of disgruntled. It means to be content, satisfied, and happy. But you never hear gruntled. You know why? Because capitalism sucks. Look, we've been running this grand experiment on capitalism for 250 years now. And what have we discovered? Turns out, the invisible hand of the market just gives most of us the finger. And then uses that finger for a prostate exam. I mean, look, we've all had those $1 million ideas. When we're drunk, hanging out with our friends, those ideas that seem to lose momentum when we sober up. Well, don't sober up. The ideas are solid. That's why I'm up every night. Hell, that's the best part of atheism, is all the money it saves me at Christmas. Hell, the worst part of atheism is during a physical act of love, if she cries out, oh God, what do I respond? Oh, nothing. Oh, nada. Hey, don't you dare call out, oh, great void. You'll get punched in the nuts. Anarchy rules. No, it doesn't. Look, we all know so much of being happy is a choice. That's why I choose to drink and do drugs. My humor isn't dark. The world is. My humor just reflects that. Remember, dark humor is a lot like dark chocolate. It's bitter, but it's delicious. Look, apparently I'm such a fucking wonderful human being, it goes without saying. Apparently. Hell, it goes so long without saying I must be up for sainthood. Look, I'm not some cynical old bastard. I did honestly have a picture of Diogenes poster on my wall until my house burned down. But I'm not a cynical old bastard. I do believe in love. Real love. Capital L-U-S-T. You know me. Hey, and don't laugh. Don't you laugh at love. Everybody